The first gigantic decision, I guess one of the big decisions was that number one overall pick. Before I ask you about him, I've noticed you've already done this a couple times. I've noticed in your tweets as well. Does he want to be known as Cameron Ward, or is everyone saying Cam Ward and that's wrong?
Yeah, that's the interesting part of it. So when I first met his parents, Patricia and Calvin Ward, Patricia, his mom was very not adamant, but she wanted him to be called Cameron. And, nevertheless, mom knows best. That's what I've always been taught. So I followed along with that. But it's funny you mentioned that because I talked to them yesterday because they're here in Atlanta or Flowery Branch for the joint practices. And they said it's okay to say Cam. So at this point, I guess it's like you want to call him Cam, call him Cam. You want to call him Cameron, call him Cameron. I may just going forward just say Ward and just to avoid all that, right?
I've been seeing all the posts and you've been using Cameron, so I was like, we're really not paying attention to this guy. Are we to that extent not realizing the way he wants his name to be called? Okay, so we got that down. Let me just ask you about him so far, because again, not much discussion. I think from all the number one overall pick quarterbacks, nobody has been talked about less. And I think, of course,
Yeah.
the fact that there was a trade at number two, maybe that affected it. The fact that there was a different quarterback in Shador, maybe that affected it. But you've seen him every single day since he got there. What are the early impressions of Cam Ward through camp, the poise, the accuracy, commanding the huddle, being a leader? Like, what have you seen from him?
Yeah, all of those things actually. And I think it's pretty cool just seeing the way I know people don't make too much about trash talk, but it's interesting the way he just fit right in, right? And Jeffrey Simmons came out in minicamp and was talking, and he was talking right back to him. You've heard the story, Ari, where Brian Callahan was calling the play, and he's talking trash to Simmons while Callahan is calling the play, and he just turned and he spit the play out in the huddle, then proceeded to drop a bomb to Calvin Ridley on a post route. So I think the main thing, coolness, calmness, and confidence. Those are the three things for Ward. I think that really show, and it's like he could make a mistake and he's going to turn around and the next play go right back at it. I think that's a good sign. Still unproven, so I'm not going to say he's a good quarterback already, but I think the seeds have been planted. And then you also look at the arm angles. There are multiple times where I've seen him sidearm and different, change his arm angle to be able to get it around a defender on an RPO or any of those types of quick hitting plays.
Have you felt the players resonating to him? Because like Jordan Love did this article in the Tribune recently, and he was like, when I got to the NFL, the element of just leading all these men is like a big deal. Like, how am I supposed to do that? And I got to watch Aaron Rodgers. It feels like Cam is able to do it. Have you seen that with all these players? You mentioned Jeffrey Simmons before. Like, has he been the leader of men and just coming as if he's
Yeah.
been there, done that?
Yeah, it's funny. It's on Twitter. There's a picture of everybody is on one knee and he's standing up and he's like this. And I don't know what he was saying, but I mean, that in itself is a good example. I mentioned the trash talk with Jeffrey Simmons. J.C. Latham, the second-year offensive lineman, he got really excited during mini camp because in between series, Jeff got a little too close to them and Ward headbutted him. He's like, man, my quarterback, he headbutted. He had enough. Like, it just the genuine excitement that he had. You got that, but then also you look at there was a touchdown that they scored during one of the team periods, and you got Tony Pollard, a longtime veteran, doing the celebration, right? And then they had a pick six, and Arden Key is doing it back to him. Like anytime, you know what they say about imitation, it's a sign of appreciation. Yeah, you know what I mean. And so the defense doing that to get back at him. I mean, it just shows. I think he's definitely taken a hold of this team and is clearly a leader. I'll be surprised if he doesn't have the C on his shirt, as one of the captains.
When it comes to him, what would be the I guess the good thing for the organization to see out of him? I mean, we're not talking about a CJ Stroud type of a year, but for the organization, what do they want to see out of him?
Honestly, I think a season very similar to Caleb Williams last year. But just, a season in which he shows, hey, I could get them in and out of the huddle effectively. I could not turn the ball over frequently, and I could make sure that, hey, if we lose games, it's not going to be because of me directly. And we know that that was an issue last year with Will Levis. There were 2 to 3 games where it's like, you never like to put it on one player on one play, but if you wouldn't have done this, you know what I mean? So I think that's really the thing, just to show signs of growth and signs of belonging in the league.